Adverse possession. Let's talk about it. So adverse possession is a way to gain legal title in real property that you did not purchase. So in the eyes of the law, there's 5 elements that have to be met for you to adversely possess a property. And this is something you may have heard of, so I'll go down some examples. So for example, sometimes you see squatters that somehow manage to get the home, or people that live in the middle of the desert grab a piece of land, and you may hear about this adverse possession thing. So here are the 5 elements of adverse possession. Adverse possession has to be actual possession, exclusive possession, open and notorious possession, hostile possession, and continuous possession. So I'll break these down for you. So actual possession means, number one, actual possession means you actually have to be in the home. So you can't, for example, go out into the middle of the desert, put a flag down and say, this is mine, I'm in possession of it. You actually have to sit there or live there or build a house there. Exclusive possession. This means you went onto a property and it was just you, so you didn't have the owner. So you can't go into your best friend's house and live there and say, I adversely possess this now because I had possession of it. You didn't have exclusive possession. So you have to have actual possession. So sleeping at your friend's house gives you actual possession. You're actually staying there, but it's not exclusive, right? Because you have the owner of the house right there. So that's exclusive. Number 2, open and notorious. So the point of adverse possession is to gain title in the property. So you have to be open and notorious about it, meaning people have to know that you're there. So you can't be in hiding. You can't go sleep in the basement and say, no, this is my house, I live here. You actually have to be open and notorious about it, meaning you basically have to let the world know. You can't be in hiding about it. So it can't be a secret, and it would have to be a possession that puts the owners on notice. So if there's obviously another owner here, right? Because you're trying to adversely possess the property. So it would be a kind of possession that would put that owner on notice, whether it's camping out in the open or building a home on the property, or driving back and forth to the property every day as if nothing was wrong. So that's 3, open and notorious possession. Number 4, hostile possession. This means you can't have the permission of the owner. So if you're staying on a property, and you're saying, look, I'm going to camp out on this property, this property in upstate New York. I'm going to go camp there, and I'll just live there, and then the government will give me the property through adverse possession. I'll have a legal claim. It has to be hostile. So if I go up there and I own the property and I see some guy squatting up there, he's like, I'm going to take over this property. He's actually there, right? He's exclusive. So that's the second requirement. He's exclusive. So no one else is up there. He's open and notorious about it, right? He's telling me, look, I'm going to be here. But then I say, fine, you can stay here, but this is my property. Okay, now it's not hostile, right? So it has to be without permission. It has to be without permission. Number 5, continuous possession throughout the statutory period. So every state has a length of time that you actually have to acquire these other 4 elements, right? So you have to be in actual possession, exclusive possession, open and notorious possession, and hostile possession for the statutory period. Meaning, if in New York, I'm not sure what they are per state, but usually they range from 10 to 20 years that you had to be there. So it has to be a continuous period. You can't go there for a year. So for example, here's where this would make sense. If there's a vacation home in northern part of America that people only go to in the summer, and the person goes there, moves in September, and then he moves out before the people come back in June, and they spend the summer there, and then he comes back in and moves in, and he's been there for 10 years. That doesn't count. It has to be continuous. It has to be continuous. And that also wouldn't count because it's not open and notorious or hostile, right? This guy's being secretive about it and leaving when the true owners come back. So that's how you acquire property through adverse possession in America. It has to have 5 requirements. You actually have to possess it. So this means you can't just, have constructive possession like putting a fence up, or which in some cases may work depending on if you have, animals there or some other kind of possession. But you have to have actual possession of the property. You have to have exclusive possession of the property, meaning you can't be sharing it. It has to be open and notorious. You can't be secretive about it. And it has to put the owners on notice, or would put the owners on notice, right? If they were diligent and stopped by the property once a year, they would know. It has to be hostile possession, so it can't be given the right to you by the owner, and it has to be for a continuous period of the statutory time that is defined by each state. So each state will tell you how long you have to be in possession of that property in order for you to claim a legal title to that property. So that's adverse possession. I hope that helped, and we'll talk again soon. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to have a lot more videos.